Welcome to the Boston's Big Four podcast. Cast. New news about music and sports every week, sometimes.
We're back for another episode of Boston's Big Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We got a very special guest with us. Humbeats is here.
What's up, y'all?
Legendary producer from Randolph, Massachusetts.
Oh, there's that L word again.
Legend. You're not a fan, or you are a fan?
Huh?
Do you not like being called a legend?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not
All
yet.
right.
Okay. I like the yet, so yeah, okay.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
still
All right.
confidence in it.
But you're on your way. You've
Right.
worked with Dave East. You've worked with Sue Surf, Millie's, Hefe Replay, Styles P, Fabulous, as I just learned.
Yeah.
And so a pretty good track record so far. So welcome aboard, first of all. Welcome
Thank
to the
you
podcast.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you guys for making the trip. Appreciate it. So how are things going for you right now, music-wise?
It's going smooth, honestly. Just
Then,
a lot of...
what's the biggest thing you're working on right now? What can you tell us?
Right now, it's just me and Surf, and I'm doing a lot of, like, collab projects
Okay.
locally,
So the Surf collaboration obviously has opened a lot of doors for you.
for sure.
So how did that connection come about originally?
He tweeted his email, because, I was a fan of his battle rap, like that kind of content, but
Yeah.
I didn't really know he rapped until he tweeted out, like, send me beats. And I was like, well, like, all right. So I sent him beats and went to a basketball game. This is like 2014, I think. And he ended up calling me at halftime. And it was just, like, I guess he recorded that day or that week. He dropped the song that week. And after that, it was just, consistent work pretty much. So that was dope.
Word. So through that connection, you've obviously Fabulous. You worked with him.
Right.
What was that like hearing Fabulous rap on one of your records?
Crazy. I was kind of upset he didn't spell his name, but other than that, it's Fab, like
Right.
that's legendary.
Yes.
For sure.
That's what I mean. Like when I say legendary producer, I think just the fact that you've been able to work with someone of that stature, let alone Dave East and Sue Surf and how big they are right now.
Love that. Thank you. Great energy.
And Styles P, those are all legends. So you're in a position right now. You're on your way to being a legend, definitely. If not one already, locally, definitely you are.
By
I would
the end
say.
of this
I'll
podcast, we'll
accept
have you
that.
convinced you are a legend. That's
I'll
the
accept
goal.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Level up always.
Level up always. That's your brand, right?
Yes, it is. My mindset.
How did that begin?
It was really like just my mindset. I had a studio, and I ended up putting like some rules on the wall. And the first rule was level up always, because I was just like, what I felt like I should be doing, had to do, type of thing. And after that, it just stuck. Just made sense for that to be like my brand, I guess.
Yeah.
So
It's a smart
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah,
Always got to be
definitely.
leveling up. So
it kind of made itself at the end of the day.
Right.
But
it
yeah.
makes a lot more sense why you're less willing to accept legendary status, but you're out because there's always that next tier. But
that's true.
so of course, like we could list the catalog. We could go on. I did want to ask you just before we like dive right into that is, like how did this all start? How did you start making beats? Like, did you have a mentor? Did you just kind of get into it? What was the like first thing you think?
It was random, real random. I just got like a video game for PlayStation 2, and
Was it DJ Hero?
nah, it was Magic's Music Maker.
Oh, it was actually like a music making thing. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And you can just like put loops together and stuff like that. It was like a random game, like those games in like the clearance pile.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
I got
yeah.
like a bunch of games from that, and
Okay.
and yeah, it was interesting. Like I'm a creator, like I'm a creative, so I just liked the creative aspect of it, and I just happened to be good at it, I guess.
Were you able to like use any of those beats from that game, or like can you?
For
could you
PlayStation,
export-
no, but I ended up getting the game for PSP, where you can save MP3s, and that
Oh.
was my first like.
They wouldn't let you do it in the
production.
game, the PlayStation game.
Nah,
That's crazy. I feel like they were so big on like the file. Like I always remember people saying Xbox was harder to play music on and stuff, and PlayStation you could just like plug and everything. But I mean, it's probably the way that game was made. But it just seems
Yeah.
weird that they wouldn't let you do that. Like you
Yeah,
can make
couldn't
music, but
save
you
it.
can't.
You could
use
save the project, but you couldn't like export it.
it. Mm,
So I
Okay.
would just have to like pull up the project on like the TV and play it off the TV
okay,
if I wanted to
Damn.
like play a beat. But
interesting.
it was cool.
Still
Yeah.
possible, I guess, if you wanted
It
to.
w- I mean,
to
if I
get one.
wanted to like record with it, then it was possible, but it was
Yeah.
difficult and low quality.
That would be cool. If true, yeah. I wonder what like the bit rate or whatever is coming out of
Yeah,
a PS2.
probably not good.
Yeah. That is so interesting. That kind of makes me wonder though, is there like a niche market of lo-fi beats you could do like from that game? That'd be a good throwback
I mean,
thing.
that's not
Special
low-fi.
pack.
That's just low quality.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that what lo-fi is? So I don't know.
I mean, not really.
Educate
kind
me,
of.
please.
Yeah,
'cause
what
I
is
always
lo-fi?
thought I
Tell
thought
us
it was
what
low
lo-fi is.
fidelity, like lower quality, right?
I mean, yeah, but like PlayStation 2 was actual like low quality.
Yeah,
Like
shit,
garbage
yeah.
quality.
yeah, like it was trash.
No, I feel
Like
it.
lo-fi is like purposely like it's a vibe more than like a
It's like
Yeah.
high quality, low quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's meant to be low quality.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
PlayStation we had no choice. It was low quality. You
Okay.
couldn't make it high quality, you know.
That
That
makes sense.
So, what was like the first jump from that? Like, so you got interested, you realized you wanted to make beats. Did you just get FL Studio or Ableton or something, and then just get going on it, or?
Honestly, a lot of my path was just me kind of either getting information, like getting like recommendations for it, or just kind of stumbling upon something. Like making like the PlayStation Portable, like the PSP Beats, that game I kind of just found. Like I wasn't looking for it.
Was it the same game just for PSP, or?
Nah, it was I forgot the name of that. Trackspad, I think, something like that.
Okay.
It was kind of like a NPC emulation game kind of type of thing. But like that was random. I was at what was this the spot at the mall? Braintree Mall. GameStop.
GameStop.
It was
that's the
GameStop.
spot, yeah.
And it was like again like $20.
Mm.
And I was just like, oh, like I had a beat making game for PlayStation 2. Let me try this one out for PSP. And it was dope. Like I still have the first 3 beats I made on that.
That's fire.
Oh, that's.
So-
Is someone on them, or is it like in the vault stuff?
My cousin rapped on 2 of them.
Oh, so that's
That was like my
exclusive.
first placement,
Nice.
technically.
Nice. I forgot about
Um,
PSPs.
Yeah.
Those were awesome. Those were ahead of their time, honestly.
They were ahead
for
of
sure.
their time. I don't think people really understood what was in their hands.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
Some young boys knew, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's
still
all
have
I'll
mine.
say. Yeah. Oh,
I
really?
still have mine
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Somewhere.
I want to play it now. Damn.
Yeah, mine is definitely dead, but I have it.
Yeah, I used to play NBA Live on that thing all the time.
Yep, NBA Live.
That was fun.
That was
Those
my
were the
game.
days.
I never
So,
owned a PlayStation system. Now I'm jealous.
Really?
Yeah.
You
You didn't have a
bought it.
PSP?
No, I bought a. Well, PSP. I feel like not many people had, but I like the.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
I only
feel like
knew a few people.
when
that
I was in like
had 'em,
8th
yeah.
grade, everyone like on the bus was playing PSP.
Everyone on the
Not
bus?
everyone. Me and like a couple people.
Yeah, I guess only the kids who had it. Now I'm jealous. It was a special group. I don't know.
I just thought like, it was like Game Boys. I never had a Game Boy actually. But
Okay,
at
I
one
was-
point
yeah, it was
everybody had a Game
Nintendo.
Boy.
Yeah, I never
I had a
Game Boy.
GameCube. That was my thing.
Yeah.
But there was no like crossover games. Sorry, we're video game tangenting, but it's interesting. That's actually why I had asked originally if it was DJ Hero, because that was the only other game I knew that like had anything to do with like beats. But I am also like didn't have my ear to the what was being made
Yeah.
at the time. But I did try that once, and I was like, wow, there's some like comprehension to it. I kind of thought it was like Guitar Hero, like just smashing stuff. But anyways, that beats an exclusive, the one that your cousin's on. So big bucks if someone
Yeah.
wants it.
For sure. I mean, it's ass, but for sure.
So do you play instruments yourself? Like, is that like how you got
I
into
do
the?
not.
Oh, really? So you
I-
just feel it out?
This is totally random.
Really?
Like me producing is totally random. I was not into music. I was not. Well, I wouldn't say I wasn't into music, but like I wasn't like raised on music. I'm not like a church boy. I'm like my parents didn't play music every day. Like I just got the game and thought it was interesting and creative.
That's cool.
Wow.
And just kind of stuck with it.
So that
And-
game is like the number one thing you credit your just starting your music career with.
Yeah, it piqued my interest.
That's
and
so
then
interesting.
that's
I thought
wild.
you were
Kept it
just gonna
going.
say that's step one and like something
Yeah.
else. That's crazy.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you just
nah,
went
like,
right into it.
I never like. I didn't expect to be here or anything. Like, it's really random, honestly.
Wow.
Like, I wasn't interested in music after I got the game. Really, it was just like the game for like a couple years, I think, and then I found the PSP game, and that kind of took me to the next level because I could save the beats. Because for PlayStation 2, it was just like I had the game, but I couldn't like show anybody. It was just on unless it came over. But yeah, PlayStation, PS3
Interesting.
kind of just.
And what was your first DAW? Were you using like? What'd you get?
Magic's Music Maker
Magic's?
for the computer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so not
So I thought that was what I had to do. I mean, it was for PlayStation 2, so I was like, this must be better.
So this was the game, but for PC, or like
This was the actual program.
I
I think the game was modeled after the program.
I see. I
Oh,
see what
okay.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, is this just the game again? But they still let you download it on the
Oh
computer
no,
or something.
it was it's the actual like program. So it's kind of like
So it's like a fine line. It basically was. It was almost like a demo version of the DAW.
yeah, kind of.
Is it still around? Is it Magic's like just
Probably.
CS? Now I'm curious.
It's probably still out there. I don't know.
So what do you use now?
FL.
I felt okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever use Ableton? I always hear there's like a war between FL and Ableton users.
Nah, I haven't used it. I would, but I just know FL like the back of my hand now. It's just,
I get confused. So this is just me. I'm not like a beat maker, but I have FL Studio, and I have messed with it so many times. Like, all right, I'm gonna get good at beats, and then I always get thrown off by the workflow of like so everything you do in one of your patterns populates to the next pattern. You can't do a fresh next pattern. Or
Of course you can.
you can? Okay.
Of course.
Because I've made changes that went through all of my next patterns. Like I had to make my most recent pattern different than all the other ones. We'll talk about it off air. But this was like, I was confused about how to like use, I don't know, there was just like a workflow thing I couldn't figure out. But it makes
Okay.
sense that it's sort of like your handwriting in the way like
Yeah.
you use this software a certain way. They can all basically do the same thing.
Yeah,
from what I
it's all the
understand.
same. It's all preference.
Yeah.
At this point,
No, that's just-
depends on what you want to do. Like Pro Tools is really like recording. Then like FL is more production, but
I hear Pro
You know.
Tools is overrated.
I've
Seen-
heard that as well.
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
Really? It's better? It's better than others?
I mean, everybody uses it. I can't.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I
know.
guess that's the hard thing because it's like, is it better because everyone uses it? Because when you have everyone on the same thing, it makes sharing stuff like way easier, of course, like project to project. But does it actually run better? And now this is just philosophy. So if someone wants to sound off in the comments with their opinion, that'd be fantastic. But I don't know. Is that true? I always wonder that because right now we're recording this podcast on Reaper, and I always shout out Reaper because they constantly put out updates. They're like very receptive to the
Yeah, I heard
bug
Reaper like
fixes.
Studio One is good. I heard even Logic. People like using Logic to
Okay.
record and stuff like that. But I think it's just preference, honestly. Like I
Yeah.
record in FL personally, but
Oh, you also record. Okay,
I do
so you don't
everything in
use Pro
FL.
Tools. I was going to ask that.
I should, but I don't.
Yeah.
I should though. I have to learn
Interesting.
in like a month.
I
But
feel like FL is as standard though. Like if you're sending somebody
Yeah.
something, like they probably already have
yeah,
whatever, like it's compatible in some way.
yeah. FL is like a production standard for sure.
Mm.
Even on like Mac now, it's like people usually have FL.
Okay,
It's just the GOAT.
makes sense.
What can I say?
Now, this is me also just curious. Waves tune real time or auto tune?
Auto-tune.
Auto tune for sure.
Auto-tune.
Okay, so Waves is trash.
I didn't say that.
Will you say on camera that Waves is trash?
I didn't say that. I'm not disagreeing, but I didn't say that.
Okay, because
Hey.
because isn't there also Waves real tune and that's like Melodyne, but not
Right.
as good?
Melodyne is the GOAT.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Melodyne into auto-tune is heavenly.
Okay, yeah, I always I don't claim to be any authority on anything, but I'm just like I always nerd out about this stuff, like the software parts of it, the plugins, the
Yeah.
like the gear and everything like that. So I'm always curious. Full disclosure, I've talked about this before, but since you're here, this is relevant. I just finished a mixing and mastering class with Nick Tello. Shout out Titletown Sounds. So it's all fresh in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah, there was no criteria.
Owen knows what he's talking about a little bit. He's
A
being
little
humble,
bit.
but
No, a little bit, but I'm just trying to. This is why I just always ask. Like, do you use when you're recording? Is there an analog chain, or do you just go everything in the box?
I recently got a. Well, I guess it wasn't recently, but we had a studio and we had an Avalon, and
Avalon's one of those magic ones I always hear about.
Avalon the butter.
Yeah.
We had an Avalon, and then we got evicted. We'll probably go on that story later, but
This was a
but-
studio or a place, like an apartment?
studio, like
Okay.
a building. But the studio had it like before we moved in. It was a built studio before we moved in, so we bought
Okay.
like a studio. It was-
Oh, wow.
We had soundproof and everything, but when we left, we wanted to get the Avalon because the landlord didn't know what equipment was already there before or what was ours.
Oh my God.
So he was just like, "Yeah, take everything and leave." And we were like, "Cool." And
Was
we
the
ha-
rack like in the wall? Or
it wasn't the desk.
oh, okay.
So we couldn't take the desk because the desk was like big as shit. And so we wanted to get the Avalon, and we didn't have a screwdriver. And we were like, okay, let's go to Dollar Tree, like down the street. And he was like, nah, just get out. And we were like, just like 1 second, like just for the Avalon. He was like, nah, just get out. And we were like,
Oh, so he was like watching you guys as this was happening?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
wow.
so
Let this be a lesson.
Lost the
Always have a
Avalon.
screwdriver
I
on
always
you.
have a screwdriver on. So,
Damn.
so yeah. But I ended up getting a LA 2A. It's like the UA Universal Audio. It's like the chain though, like the compressor, the EQ, and the
oh, it like is
limiter or something.
like
It's
a
the
3-in-1
whole-
kind of a
yeah,
thing?
it's like the
Oh,
whole
interesting.
I forgot what they're called, but I got one of those, and that does the job pretty well. It's still like
okay.
pretty smooth analog sound, but
Nice. Yeah,
but yeah.
Universal Audio I hear they do
yeah,
it right.
UA's pretty nice.
Because can't you do like a plug-in version of that setup sort of like in an Apollo?
Oh,
if
yeah.
you have a certain version of it.
Yeah, if you have like $1 million, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive.
Everything it's an unbelievable. There's no cap to like how much you can
Yeah.
spend on the when you start looking into it. I was gonna
Yeah.
say once that landlord looked up whatever the Avalon was, he was probably like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe you're not evicted. We'll just use this. But
Well, that was already there.
yeah,
So
well,
I was just
yeah.
trying to, I was just not steal it, but I mean he
No,
offered
it's not
it.
stealing.
He offered it.
He offered
Mm.
it.
And then he didn't offer it.
Ah, that's so
That
disappointing.
sucks.
I would have just been like, do we have anything? I'm gonna chop this out of the desk.
Yeah, right.
Should have. Just took the whole part of the desk, but it is what it is. And there were speakers too. The NS10s,
I'm
Nice
not
speakers.
familiar with those.
Yamaha,
Oh,
good
okay.
speakers. They're like industry standard.
Mm.
Like they're ass, but they're supposed to be ass. Because if you can mix on those, then you can mix on anything. Apparently,
Okay. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah,
you know.
I have to train my ear because I almost never hear the difference. Like people will be like, "Oh, it's so much more clarity," or "I can hear the low end better," and I guess that makes a little more sense to me. But still, like, there's just things that I'm like, "Oh man, I just wouldn't know." Like if you
Yeah.
weren't like teaching me that, like I'm a Jedi, like every day, like this is what this is. This is the difference but it has to go down, and this is how you make it go down. I'm just like,
Mhm.
wow. I still like that's a mystery to me to like figure out those frequency ranges and knowing
Yeah.
like where to pull things out or put things in or like
Right.
why is this punchy or is this going to cause someone's
Mhm.
ears to fatigue. Like it's those like little decisions and the equipment that you do it on is crazy. Like I heard
Mhm.
someone was talking about barefoot speakers, but speaking of no price cap, those are like I don't know what the NS. What did you say? The NS10s?
NS10s, yeah, I think they're like 1,000, something like that.
Okay, yeah, I
Nothing
think
crazy,
the barefoot
but-
ones get to like 10 or something, like
Yeah.
per speaker, and you're like, how is
there's
this
some
happening?
expensive equipment out there. I'm just like, hey, like,
Is
I
it
don't
really
need all
worth
that.
it?
Yeah.
No, there's a sweet spot for sure because I don't think
Yeah.
that stuff's
Yeah.
like it gets as worth it.
Right.
But I always have been told like you sometimes have to do less when you're mixing when you have a nice chain coming in, so it's not
Mm.
like it's not giving you as much of a hard time.
Yeah.
But so when did you get into, I guess, that part of it? Because they probably don't, like, that couldn't have been part of the game, or was that part of the game, like getting, like, your chains and stuff figured out?
Oh, hell no.
I was going to say, that would be
That'd
wild.
be dope, though. But,
Yeah.
nah, when I got my studio, 2015, I think it was 2015, maybe 2016, one of those years. That's when I started, like, recording artists, other artists. And I had just like a laptop at that point. I was out in Brockton, place called the Sound Lab. Shout out to Sound Lab.
Oh yeah.
Sound Lab,
Shout
yeah.
out Sound Lab.
And then I moved on to a spot in Taunton. And I got a new computer when I was in Taunton, like a custom gaming PC.
Oh, are
Just
you PC or Mac?
PC.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Always.
my God. You're like the first one to say that. Thank
Really?
you. Yeah, I'm a PC boy over here. Yeah.
I have a Mac though.
That's good. You got to have both. You got to be
But,
able
yeah.
to. Yeah.
AirDrop is amazing, but yeah, PC all the way for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, I got a new PC, and then when I got the studio in Winchester, that's when I ended up getting like a bunch of analog equipment and like new speakers because I had KRKs up until then, which are dope. I love KRKs.
Well, aren't those like sort of the entry level ones too? As far as like if they're
Yeah.
if it's like a muddy, I don't know. Mixing on those is probably similar to what you were saying with the NS10s, right?
KRKs are just like bass heavy. KRKs are like listening playback speakers, I think.
Oh, really? Not
Like I wouldn't
mixing
mix
necessarily.
on, but you
Okay.
can if you have to learn your speakers. You can mix on anything if you learn your speakers.
I've read that before. I don't have space for a monitoring environment right now, so
Yeah,
I
same with
always rock
headphones.
the headphones. Yeah, so
Like I like headphones now. Like after I
Really?
moved to Atlanta, I was mostly all headphones, and
Mm.
I kind of like it more, honestly.
And some you can even I think emulate your environment, right?
Yeah,
Like you can make it sound like you're in a car or whatever, all the different places.
yeah. There's plugins for that you can kind of make it sound like you're like in a studio, or you have NS10s,
Mm.
or you have like you said, like in a car or something like that. So
Wait, you said was this studio in the Sound Lab? So you were like a resident in the Sound Lab?
yeah, it was like on the back half of it.
Every time you mention the Sound Lab, this guy's laughing. I'm wondering what's going on.
What's the story? Yeah.
Sound Lab was an interesting experience.
Oh, are we anti Sound Lab? Reverse shout out Sound
No,
Lab.
not anti.
No,
It
no,
was
I'm
just
just
like it was just like a funny like time there, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Were we getting silly in the studio?
nah.
Oh, okay.
Like it wasn't like the studio was fine. It was just the I don't know, like just the way it was set up, I guess. But like it wasn't like it was the first studio. Like it wasn't like bad. It was just like it was definitely a new experience. Like I never really like experienced like renting out a studio.
So
And
this was before the one that you had the Avalon, right?
yeah, this is 2 studios before that one.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh wait, how many total? How many studios?
I've
have
had
you-
3.
3. Okay. Okay.
Well, 4, but 4. Okay, 4.
What's the secret fourth? You almost didn't
Avon.
count it. Which
It's
one?
in Avon. I just forgot about it. I'm thinking
Oh.
about the main like first 3. because I had like a big gap in between 3 and 4. But yeah, it was like they all had their pros and cons, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I appreciate all of them. You know, adds to the story.
Yeah, no, that
Definitely.
Makes sense. Did you build them out yourselves, or were they like in-place studios when you went to them?
I mean, I had my own equipment, but like the sound lab was like a room. I kind of just put equipment in. I built my own panels, sound panels, so that was cool. They were like thick though, like sound was dead in those, and I had like 15 of them, I think. So yeah, it was a little overkill. but-
Overkill. Yeah.
Oh, really? Was it like one of those rooms that they say it's so silent, like it's uncomfortable to sit in? Have you ever heard about this?
Nah, that would be like soundproofing, I think.
Oh, really? I don't know. It
Yeah.
was there was some picture I saw. It was years ago. It was like one of those. It was long spikes coming out of the walls. Like, so I think it was like the most deadened or whatever the sound would be. Just however they had
Oh,
the
really?
acoustics. And it could have been fake. It could have been one of those fake things. But it was saying like you can like hear your blood moving through your system.
damn.
Like when it gets, it's
I don't
like
wanna hear
that
that.
silent.
I would not
yeah.
like that.
That's crazy.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, I guess like it was dead in there,
Mm.
but it wasn't like disturbing.
That's got to
you
be
know.
pretty relaxing though. When you're
Mm.
just like after
Yeah.
a session with like the dead sound, absolutely no vibrations around you. You're like,
Yeah, for
successful
sure.
day.
For sure. The Winchester one was the most like aesthetic, I think, because it had like its own booth, and it was just like a lot more spacious.
Mm.
It had like a hoop on the door, so we play like little
Oh, nice.
basketball games and shit like that.
That's important. You got to have that.
Yeah. So
You got to have something to
You know.
keep people entertained.
exactly, sessions get a little long.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's a lot of
So,
sitting around
yeah.
that goes on. Definitely.
So yeah, that was the most like friendly studio, I guess you could say.
Were these all like established studios already that you were having a room in, or did you start any of these as your own brand?
No, they were all I mean the Winchester one it had equipment in it, but it wasn't like a studio.
Okay.
It was just we don't know what happened to the guy before. But it was like
He was
fully packed out.
disappeared.
Literally, like his computer was there, everything
really?
was there.
No
like,
way.
like we had to clean stuff out before we moved in because it was just
that's
like
nuts.
Wow.
it was a bunch of old stuff in there. But yeah, the guy looked like he just like left and never came back. But yeah, everything was pretty much started as just like a room. We kind of just put the equipment in and got it popping,
Nice. Here we go.
you know?
So,
Oh, go for it.
my fault. So we mentioned obviously Sue Surf
Mhm.
and Fabulous, and you know the big placements you've had. You've worked with Millie's a decent amount, right?
Yeah.
And Hefe Replay as well.
Right.
Who was the first like? When do you feel like you started really getting accepted into like the local scene and just like artists like Millie's and Hefe who are really making the scene pop right now? Like when do you feel like you kind of started to enter that circle?
2012.
2012.
Summer 2012. This is like the main story I always I ended up getting an opportunity to go to I forgot the kid's name, but well, I'll start here. My roommate in college was Reem Scully.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he ended up telling me to talk to Tim LaRue.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, yeah, talk to Tim. He's like doing things around the city, music wise. Talk to him. He'll get you right. So I hit up Tim. This was summer 2012, and he told me to come to some dude's apartment it wasn't on Newberry. It was like one of the streets out in Boston. And I went there, and everybody was there. Like Stiz was there, Replay, OG Swagger Dig, G.O.D. Like it was just like a random
Damn.
like I had no idea who anybody was because I really only knew Reem.
Yeah.
from the city. But
Honestly, 2012 this was?
yeah,
I wouldn't have known who Cousin Stiz or Hefe Replay were in 2012. That's
right. It was like
yeah.
the real beginning of
That's like the
everything.
real beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So it was
crazy.
like the perfect time. But yeah, everybody was there, and I'm very like I don't like a lot of people, like rooms with a lot of people. I'm very shy and stuff like that. But they ended up knowing me from YouTube. I don't know if you're familiar with Nick Gray.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so he had already a song on one of my beats from YouTube. I think it was YouTube.
And he was in a group with Cousin Stiz, right? And Hefe, right?
Yeah,
The three of them.
Pilot Nation.
That's right.
So he had a song on one of my beats, and that kind of made me more comfortable. And Michael Christmas already had a song from one of my mixtapes. Because I would drop a lot of beat tapes.
Yeah.
And he had a song on one of my beats, so I was kind of like more comfortable. And they were just like play some beats. So I ended up playing some beats, and I think like that night was when I was like accepted into like the Boston music scene.
That's
I guess.
crazy because that's early. Like I didn't hear
Yeah.
about Michael Christmas, Cousin Stiz until like 2015. I want to say.
Right.
Like when Cousin Stiz dropped Suffolk County in 2015.
Right.
That's
yeah.
when
so
I
like
heard
all
about
that
him.
like
So
those
you
3 years.
you got
was
to like get in there early.
yeah, like those 3 years was like the building up to all that. Like I saw all that.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, like that night was like the main, like the biggest push of my local career, I guess. you could
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's big. So when did you start working with Millie's?
He used a beat off my SoundCloud. I remember the beat was called Dreams. I think the song was called Dreams too. But yeah, he ends up using the beat off my SoundCloud, and I don't know if he knew who I was at that point or if he just like found the beat randomly and liked it. But after that song, we connected and just started working after that. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of random because I think I knew Millie's, but I didn't like send him anything. But he ended up using that beat, and then after that, it was just all love from there, and just kind of just kept on going forward from there. I mean, I couldn't really tell you like a certain time or day. It was just like
You've done like
after that
a
song.
handful of tracks with him, right?
Yeah,
Like quite a few at this
yeah,
point.
yeah. At least 10, I think.
Okay.
Something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So you dropped an album back at the end of 2020, right?
Mhm.
With there was a ton of local artists on there. You actually had
24.
24 local artists.
Yeah, 12
you-
guys, 12 women.
12 guys, 12 women. Was that intentional? You wanted
Yeah.
to make it even?
Yeah.
All right. I
Well,
like
not
that.
even, but I want to make it
You wanted to,
at least half and half. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
even, yeah.
and you had a billboard. You had a few billboards put up, right? With
Yeah,
all the
2,
names of
yeah.
the artists, or a couple.
Yeah, I had one billboard for the album, one billboard for my my clothing.
Okay.
My
So
brand.
you made it a goal when you released that album to have it centered around Massachusetts, right? Like
Yeah.
That was,
Mm-hmm.
so talk about that. Just like when did you decide that? That was your first album, right? That was your
Yeah.
first. Yeah. So when did you decide like that you wanted to make an album, and not only make an album, make it like centered around Massachusetts and really just shed light on all the artists you've come in contact with over the years? How'd that come about?
I just felt like it was the right time to,
Yeah.
like I was pretty known around the city, and I felt like I had enough connections to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like I never dropped a project, like a collab project, and again, I just like to create, so I felt like it would be a cool thing
Yeah.
to create. So yeah, I just wanted to do something, and I knew I was probably going to be moving soon, so I was like, at least before I get out of here, I can drop like a big
And then you
home
moved
project.
to Atlanta after that, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
So
And you were in Atlanta for. Are you still in Atlanta?
yeah,
right
I'm still
now?
in Atlanta.
Okay. All right.
So
Oh, so we just happen to catch you
Yeah.
here
No,
right
he's
now?
he's just back visiting
Yeah.
now.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
so yeah, I just
lucky.
ended up making the project for kind of like a home team type of thing.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, for all the artists to be able to see their names up on a billboard like that, I know they
Yeah.
were all excited about it. We talked to Mona Velli about it, Brandy Blaze, a couple people that were on the
Right.
album. There's a lot of good names on there.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah,
keep
that
it
was
going.
that was big, like for New England, for Massachusetts to have that,
Yeah.
just to have those billboards up and to have people,
Mhm.
that available for people to see and say, what the hell is this? Who are all these names? It's like
Right.
how hard is it to get a billboard like that? What was
It's very
that
easy.
process
Very
like
easy.
that?
It's very easy.
I'm wondering, what's the process?
Maybe like 10 minutes of Googling, about 5 minutes of phone calls, and
And a
some
little bit
money.
of money.
some
Yeah.
money, and then you're good. Yeah. It's not hard
It used to be my dream to own billboards. I always thought it was
to
the
own
cool-
them.
Yeah,
To,
like
sell them. Oh.
No, like just like be the person that you rent them out, like for people to do.
That's
I
good
don't know.
money.
It just seems like good steady money. You don't have to have anything. Like you're just like, this is a billboard.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I guess
right?
it's like real estate, technically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I might have just gave away the sauce, but I
You
feel
might
like,
have.
I feel like billboards are the key. That is super cool though. Everything looks official on a billboard, so if you can get it,
Yeah.
up, it's
Yeah. That's a
That's a
surprising
great
that
way to
it's in-
promote an album. Like
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah.
billboard up, people are like, okay, I got to listen to this. This is
Yeah.
serious.
It's kind of why I got it. I feel like it was, like, I feel like I could pull off a billboard without it making it look like desperate or
Yeah.
like too out of place.
Yeah.
So
But the fact that you put all the names of all the features on there was like very unselfish of you. I feel like
I mean, I
people-
wasn't rapping. I just made the beats. So.
I know, but it's your
Might as well.
album.
I mean, yeah, but again, it's their like it's really their song. Like they're on the songs. Like,
Yeah.
Like they're not
But
really.
you're
hearing-
also curating the song, so you're like
And
you get
Yeah.
the credit. It's not like a behind the scenes thing. It's fully like in the front.
I guess.
It's creating the vibe.
Yeah.
Is
I don't
there
know.
like a reason that you think that the artist outshines the beat, or
I wouldn't say outshine. I just feel like they're just more noticed. Like I rather them be more like most people listen to lyrics than the beat. I
yeah,
feel
that's
like,
true.
or just listen to the artist than the actual beat. But yeah, I wasn't really trying to make myself like in the background, kind of. But I felt like I might as well at least be on the same level and not
Yeah.
try and just make it all about my album when they're the actual ones rapping on it.
That's yeah.
I think being on the
perfectly
same
humble, yeah.
level is what you want.
Definitely,
you
equality
should- yeah.
is huge. Yeah,
There
Yeah,
shouldn't be
at
the
least.
artist shouldn't be getting more credit, and the producer
Right.
shouldn't be getting more credit.
Right.
It's a team effort. So
yeah. Everyone deserves credit. Mm.
Right. That was the idea. Just
Yeah.
give
Right.
everybody the same amount of credit. That's why I was just like I wanted to be very equal. Like I didn't want to put anybody like ahead of any, like it was just totally random.
yeah,
Like I kind of randomized the names, just put them on the billboard. It wasn't like alphabetical. It wasn't like all guys, all girls. It was just all the names on the album. Just didn't want any complaints.
right. Yeah, everybody's happy.
Yeah, exactly. So, hold on, I had it. Shoot. What were we just talking about? The album, the. Ignore me. I had
all
it and I
good.
lost it.
It's all good. It happens.
I'll interrupt when I find it.
All right. I want to talk about Austin Fair. You work with a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was on Twitter. Your cover photo was a tweet by him where he said, every time you go to something about every time you go to Humbeats, you'll leave like with the best song you've ever made or something like that.
Mm.
So obviously he thinks very highly of your work. You obviously think very highly of him because you work together a lot. So how did that relationship come about?
Well, his mom is my dad's sister,
Oh.
so he's my cousin.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
So that's how that relationship
Oh,
worked
all
out.
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I knew him like as a baby,
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
actually being born. But he actually was like the one that got me producing
Okay.
because he wanted to rap, and this was the same time where I was making the PSP beats, so I could save them. So he was like, "Let me rap on them," and that's how we started like recording, I guess. So
Wow. All right.
after
So you
that-
go way back.
yeah, yeah. He's like my first placement ever.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking about your cousin. That you were talking about Austin Fair. All right.
Oh, okay. It's funny. I almost pried to see
yeah.
if this was like an established person, but this makes sense.
Yeah. Now it's
Yeah.
all coming together.
Yeah, but yeah, like he's really talented, so
Yeah.
it's easy to work with him. Like besides him just being my cousin, like it's just I'm very versatile. At least I feel like, and he doesn't mind doing like any type of song.
Yeah. He's got a lot of different styles. I feel like.
Yeah, so I've always liked that about him, where I can just kind of send him some like different stuff, and he'll still like record to it, make a song to it, something like that. So,
You can kind of experiment with him, like.
yeah, he's like really good to like experiment with,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's just my cousin. Like,
Word.
Nice.
Well, that's good to know. I had no idea you guys were cousins.
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
building
you-
the
Yeah.
family tree.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I do remember what I was going to ask. It was about, you mentioned before that you don't rap over any of this stuff.
right.
Have you or will you? Or are you thinking about it? Or
I could. I
Can you
might.
rap? Do you rap
do you
ever?
have
like for
bars?
fun?
Do I have bars?
Do you
Yeah.
have bars?
I mean, I do, but like,
That's all we need to know.
yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
might
we
be,
should.
might be too advanced for y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. If you secretly did a verse on one, like if you just didn't tell somebody, like if you did another album like that, and then secretly snuck yourself in on a couple verses, would you spill the beans right away, or would you just let it simmer for a while while people are like, "Wow, that was a
I think
fire
that's a
verse."
good idea to keep people guessing. Put like
Yeah.
a different.
Oh yeah,
name
no,
on it or
like I
something.
would, like I do, like I want to do that. Honestly, like
You
I
do
want
some
to,
MF
I want to
Doom
try
type
and go
stuff.
viral on like TikTok,
Yeah.
and just no one knows it's me until like
Mhm.
I have like a show at like Madison Square Garden or something, and then I just pop out of nowhere, and they're like, "What the hell?" Like,
Oh yeah, you.
something like that, But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely do that.
Okay.
But I'll probably hate the song already because I hate my voice anyway. So
Really?
yeah, but I would change my voice on the song. So,
That's all
Auto-tune,
you gotta
gotta
do,
love it.
yeah.
yeah,
I think a lot of rappers and singers, artists in general, like probably don't love their voice.
I think it's just one of those natural programming things. Like
Yeah.
we just don't
Yeah.
like. No one likes their own voice.
Yeah,
It's so
I think
weird.
there's something to that.
And if you like your own voice, you're an asshole. That's
yeah,
the
you
truth.
narcissistic
Yeah,
prick.
you're arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when I listen to our podcast, I'm like, oh, turn it off. It's a
real.
good podcast, but I'm like, my voice, I just don't want to listen to
I
it
don't like to
sometimes.
listen
You know
to
what I mean?
myself,
Yeah.
Especially when you find yourself saying words all the time. I've caught myself saying like a bunch of times. I've
Oh,
probably
yeah,
done it
yeah.
On this
Mhm.
podcast, it's the worst.
And you don't realize it until you hear it, and you're like, oh,
yeah, you're
no.
listening back,
And
like,
then
oh,
you're the
man.
only, like, you're recognizing things that no one else is probably recognizing too.
Right.
You're like picking yourself apart.
But what if they?
But
are
I do that
noticing it
live.
all?
Like I'm hearing myself right now. I'm just like, oh, I hate it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Your voice is great, so don't worry about it.
Thank you. Doesn't help, but thank you.
You tried.
I did.
So you got some songs with Mona Velli, correct?
Yeah.
We're doing a show with her in a couple days. We've had her on the podcast. She definitely talked about you because you produced that song she has with Sue Surf, Truth.
Right.
So how did that connection come about, the Mona Velli connection?
Sound Lab.
Sound
I
Lab?
met her at Sound Lab when I had my first studio. She used to come by a few times, and she would perform there a lot. We
Am
never
I
worked.
misremembering? Wasn't there like a course at the Sound Lab or something, or was it somewhere? Because
I
she
think
was a
so.
part of something, right? Like, was it at the Sound Lab?
I think so. I know they had like freestyles every week, like
Okay.
ciphers. But yeah, I mean, I know like that's where I met her first. We didn't
Okay.
work until like a lot later though.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of where our connection started, and then we just ended up working. When was our first? Um, I think like we just randomly like I think she like hit me up randomly and just like I want to beat or something like that, and then we just started working.
Do you get
but
hit
she's
up by
fire, though.
like a ton of artists? Are you just like constantly getting messages from people wanting beats?
Not a bunch,
I feel
but
like it would get annoying after a while. Do you get a lot of messages from artists and you're just like you listen to their music and you're like, nah, I can't do this.
I mean, yeah, but um, like I'm not getting hit up a bunch of times,
Yeah.
um, but I think that kind of goes back to me being kind of behind the scenes or low key.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like out there, at least image wise. And I mean, it's personal preference. Like I
Your
want it
name's
like
definitely out there though.
that, right? So like the name's out there. So it's like if I hit somebody up, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, like I definitely want to work with you.
Yeah.
So I don't get like a lot of turn downs, I can
Mm.
say, or I don't get like a bunch of like red messages. Like people like will reply to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like not a bunch of people just hit me up. And if they do, it's usually out of state. Like I get a
Really?
lot of New York,
Mm.
Jersey from Surf and Davies and stuff like that.
I would
But,
think there'd be like a lot of local artists just hitting you up all the time. That's what I would think.
I mean, there is, but I mean, I guess it depends on what you think is like a lot. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I just
I
feel
mean,
like
you know.
when you think of producers,
10 a month.
10 a month.
Yeah,
Like when
Something
you
like
think
that.
of producers in
Yeah.
Massachusetts, New England in general, your name's up there. Like you're one of the first ones I think that comes to mind these days. I
Hmm.
would say
cool.
it's you and John Glass and Aziz the Sheikh and
Yeah.
there's quite a few but
Mhm.
it's how if we listed them we'd be here forever. But no, I just feel like you're in that you're at that level that like I would think there's a lot of artists probably locally that want to work with you. Are there any artists locally
Yeah.
that you haven't worked with that you would like to?
Yeah, Latrell,
Latrell James.
surprisingly. Mostly all the Van Buren guys.
Yeah, of course.
I know I work with Luke, but everybody else I still gotta work with. So them, a couple singers I want to work with. Yeah, there's a good bunch
Hmm.
of people that I still gotta work with, but it's
Price
all in the
is
works.
about to go up, so hit them up.
That is true. Price is about to
Price,
go up.
the
Yeah.
price is
Price
about to
definitely
go
about
up.
to go up.
What do you charge for beats?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Well, doesn't that vary too?
It's got to
Like,
vary.
it
Yeah.
probably depends on how much time you spent on the beat and like whether it's personal to the artist and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if I make a beat for somebody, it'll be a little bit more. And
Yeah.
if they want it just for themselves, it'll be more.
Hmm.
But I don't have like a bunch. Like I don't charge separately for everybody. That's too stressful.
Yeah, yeah. You'd have to come up with like a good itemization for people to understand. Like,
yeah, and like it'll just like word will get out and be like, oh, like he charged me this, and like I
exactly.
don't
Yeah,
want all that. So I just have like a set price for certain
10K.
things.
10K beat.
Hopefully,
10K every 30 seconds of the beat. That's
I
you
hope
gotta
so.
pay a lot to get the whole
on
song.
my Timberland shit.
That'd be it definitely happens. I know they can get up there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
an industry beat is gonna run you like 20 to 40K, and that's just
Mm.
like
yeah.
people popping right now.
That's wild. So, do you prefer like exclusives like that, like something that you would upcharge on the beat because it's an exclusive for an artist for what's planned to be a hit song? Of course, they're all planned to be hits, but like if you're putting out a beat on BeatStars, a beat you're still proud of, it's something you made, but you have it out for like unlimited leases.
Mhm.
So, would you just like do you prefer your work being used that way, or like having anybody on it and it could just be many different people on the beat, or like putting all your I like making it exclusive, I guess. Is that
Right. Yeah, I definitely prefer exclusives.
Okay.
I I don't have a BeatStar. Like I have one, but I haven't uploaded in like 7 years.
Interesting.
I
A lot of the
I don't
local
know.
people I checked before don't have a lot up on BeatStars. Like one or
Yeah.
two beats. I think like John Glass only had a couple too. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So you don't prefer BeatStars. You just want to go through your own.
Right. Like yeah, my a beat store. Like I do want to have my own beat store. If I were to have a beat store, I want to have my own.
Mm.
That's why I made like Alleyway Vault. I just want to have my own platform. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it kind of waters down. Like if like that was my whole thing with like Cash Money AP, where it's like I think he's dope, but I just think like everybody was just using his stuff.
Mm.
Where it's like, I mean, that's probably the way he wanted to go, but just like my brand, like brand wise, like my brand, I didn't want just a bunch of beats, the same beats being used by a bunch of people. Like I would rather just make different beats for a bunch of people.
That does make sense, yeah. Because if it's like you said, it just gets watered down if everyone's using the
Yeah,
same
like
beat.
it's still cool, like if you get a placement here and there, but if it's the same beat, it's just I don't know. For me, it just wouldn't be as satisfying. Like I'd rather just make like a beat here and then like maybe a whole different beat. Like that's my whole thing. I'd rather just work with somebody and then keep on working with them
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
show
Building
the
a
progression, show
relationship.
the versatility between like how we work. And I don't know. I think that's more fulfilling for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like a lot of the artists you work with them multiple times. Like it's not just a one and done
that's a
thing.
goal. Really,
Like you kind of build a relationship and you
Right.
release a lot of stuff over the years.
I feel like that kind of goes like on brand with me.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it shows I don't just have like good beats that people just want to use and just kind of forget after.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm a good producer. Like I can make quality beats for you. I think that's where I want to take my brand. Where it's like I want people to come to me for my skill and not just like a beat. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, definitely. That does
So.
make sense. And so like I've noticed also you called some of these placements, and also with you having mentioned making beats like for specific people for certain moods, like that you're sort of tailoring it to.
Yeah.
Have you made anything for TV or anything like that, like to get in show placements?
Not yet. Well, I had one thing on ESPN before.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was dope. It was a while ago.
How'd that happen?
But Tim LaRue actually, he set that up. And
so you talked to them directly. It wasn't like you.
I didn't talk to him. It just Tim kind of set it up, and like I think I sent beats to Tim, and he knew somebody over at ESPN.
Damn.
And it just happened to go that way. But yeah, I definitely want to get into that. That'd be dope, you know.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I always think that's cool because that's like one way to, if it's taken from a song, that's instantly recognizable too. Because if someone already knows the song, then they're like,
Right.
"Oh my god, I just heard that in this show."
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it's just happens to be the tune that people remember in that show, and now you're the sound of it. I don't know. It's just a different way to get to the audience. So
Right.
I always think that's cool.
I had something. I lost it.
It's all good. I wanted to ask you about the merch too. So is this hat also merch, or because it matches the shirt? Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a prototype, I guess you could say, sample.
Oh,
but
so it's not out there yet?
yeah, no, it's not out, but
Oh, okay.
it will be.
Are the
guess.
shirts out?
Exclusive.
Honestly, just my hoodie. Like, I have this hoodie and the hoodie he's wearing. That's out right now, but I have other things just not out yet. I have to get my behind the scenes work down. Trying to get like the marketing, the branding, all
Right,
that
yeah.
down.
No, that totally makes sense.
But yeah, I have things on the way for sure.
Is there a website we can look out for?
levelupalways.com.
Levelupalways.com.
There it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's where the store will be?
Well, the store technically would be shop.levelupalways.com. LUA shop. It's called LUA shop, but
Okay.
it's shop.levelupalways.com.
Gotcha.
Everything will be something .levelupalways.com.
All right.
Nice.
Nice and
That's
easy.
the domain. Love it.
That's the domain. That's the brand.
Who
Nice
are
to know.
your favorite producers of all time? Give me
Timbaland.
3.
Oh.
Timbaland?
Timbaland's number 1.
That's number 1.
Boy Wonder.
Boy Wonder. All right.
Huh?
It's tough.
Probably Dre. Dr.
Okay.
Dre.
Hmm.
In no order. Well, Timbaland's 1, but other 2 in no order.
All right. What do you like so much about Timbaland?
It's just a goat, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
But he's got like
His-
his own sound. He's got a pretty
yeah, like
distinct sound.
his it's just like he understands rhythm so well.
Mhm.
And I just feel he's the most creative. At least like me being inspired. Like once I learned how to produce, things kind of changed. Like my whole outlook on music kind of changed
Yeah.
because I was like listening to music. I kind of would wonder how it was made,
Yeah.
and then like now I know how it's made. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, like
You would wonder, but you would just have no idea. And you'd be
yeah,
like,
like
"Oh, that's
wondering is it's
interesting."
more
Like,
it's,
it was like
it's
a
more
mystery. to you.
exciting. Yeah, it's more exciting to wonder.
Yeah.
And then like I found out, I'm like, oh, like, that's kind of boring. But like the song's so cool, but like it's just like
Yeah.
damn, like
What's your favorite Timbaland beat?
I don't know.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
think
I
of what
don't
mine
know,
would be.
honestly.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know right now, honestly.
Yeah.
There's like Timbaland has his own sound, but he still has a bunch of different like styles.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
It's kind of.
He's got some like really good pop records,
Yeah, he has
good hip hop
like
records,
R&B, like
R&B. Yeah, he's all
rap,
over the place. So
like-
it's kind of hard to choose.
and that's
yeah.
also been like an inspiration, just seeing all the people he's worked with, like
yeah.
the range of
right.
people, like
right.
to go from like a Jay-Z to like a Justin
And I
Timberlake.
feel like your album with all the Massachusetts artists, there was a range of different styles on
that was a
album.
goal.
Like,
I
a huge range
didn't
of
want to
different
just
styles.
have like the sound that's just trending right now. Like I
Right.
could have made 20 drill songs, but that wouldn't have been fun for me or the artist.
Right.
I mean,
right.
or the listener. I
Or the
guess.
listener. Like we've
Yeah.
heard enough of that at this
Right.
point.
So
I know.
yeah,
How do songs get away with it? I mean, I know it's like a never-ending conversation of like, just like every drill drum sounds the same. I feel like it
Mhm.
is the same, you know, most of
Right.
the time. Some of them are probably a little different, you know, when you really put them next to each other. But I'm like, damn, it's like this is
Yeah.
the sound, and you keep hearing it.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like it just because it's easy to make. Once you learn it, that's it.
Mm.
Do you ever make drill records?
I try not to. I mean, people ask me to,
Yeah.
and
It is fun. I mean, I don't get.
it's not even fun.
You don't think it's fun?
It's not even fun, honestly.
Oh, really?
To me, like it's boring.
Okay.
Like once you make one, you made drill.
Oh,
Yeah,
making
the
it, I can
genre.
see,
Yeah, yeah.
Because I will say when I'm in the mood and like I hear the hi hats and stuff, I'm just like I'm
Yeah,
ready. I'm
sometimes.
like, jumping
But
right.
like it's all the same. The flows are all the same.
Like I
for
feel
the
like
most
I
part.
might like it more if I wasn't a producer.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair.
That
But,
makes
like
sense.
making it, like knowing
But you
that.
hear it as a producer, and you're just like, that's too easy. You know,
yeah,
like,
it's just like it's really just like copy paste
Mm.
type of thing. You just
Right.
change like one thing, change the 808. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's too cookie cutter for me.
Yeah.
It's why I'm not a fan of like Latin music. It all sounds the same to me.
Yeah, it
Like,
does.
I know that's gonna upset a lot of people.
No, oh my
What,
god!
like
How many
dance hall?
times have you heard a car drive by and you just hear? It's
Exactly.
the exact. I'm like, there's no way they're
And it's
all
cool,
playing the
you know
same
what I'm
It's
saying?
song.
Like,
cool
no
though.
offense
It's
to
fun.
nobody.
It's fun.
I don't want to, but it sounds the same. Especially as a producer, because I listen to the beat more than like the
Yeah.
artist or whatever.
Yeah, it gets to a point with like with that type of music. It's like, how many different things can you try as a producer? You know, there's
Like,
not
it
many
gets
different
to a
ways you can
point
go.
where I can like I can go through my sound library and name the sounds
Yeah,
that are in the beat, and I just don't want to do that.
Mm. Oh, that's
But it's
fair.
cool when that happens though. Like in trap, like I can name like the file names of what's in the beat. At this
Really?
point.
Oh, sometimes
I love
dang,
that. That's a superpower.
That is a superpower.
It's just annoying.
So
Yeah.
do you know notes now that you've like learned, like I imagine parts of music? You
Not
said you
at
didn't
all.
play instruments. Oh wow.
Not at
So
all.
you're going like the
I-
Beatles.
Like who? The Beatles?
Yeah, they didn't read music or anything.
Oh
They-
really?
Yeah.
I guess I'm like that. Yeah, I can't.
Interesting. Okay.
Like I probably should, but I just like
Why
feel
though?
like
Why do you think you
whether-
should?
I don't know, to sound cooler. It's like
Yeah.
like when I get asked this question, I can be like, yeah, that was an F sharp. For
Yeah,
sure.
but that's not a good enough reason. If you don't need to do it, then who cares?
well, yeah. I mean, I don't.
You
That's why.
definitely
That's why I
need
don't.
to.
That's
Yeah,
why I
'cause
don't.
you don't need
In a
it.
way, it
It'll be
seems
cool.
like you probably already have. Like if you're making music that sounds good consistently, and it is good when you make it. Like this is, whether or not you know you could describe it, like you do know it. You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of the best.
Yeah,
way
like
to-
I can hear what sounds good. So I mean, I guess that's good enough.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But yeah, like, I still need to like, fiddle around with like the keyboard to figure out like auto tune settings and stuff. I
Mm.
can't just like hear it, or I can't just like see MIDI and be like, oh, this is in the key of A.
Oh,
I can't
no,
do that.
yeah. I feel like only like savant, like it wouldn't. I bet
Charlie
whoever
Puth.
could do that probably isn't even good at making music. They just can do that.
Charlie Puth can.
Really? Just
Yeah.
make MIDI into something?
No, I mean he can hear like he has perfect pitch,
Oh yeah. That stuff's
Yeah.
crazy.
and you can
Like
just
the
like
car
hear things.
crashes in C flat or
Yeah.
like something crazy.
Honestly,
yeah.
he did that. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That is nuts.
But yeah, I can't do any of the music theory stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Berkeley though. They can.
Shout out to Berkeley.
Big
I
shout out
love
to
shout.
Berkeley.
It's my favorite thing to shout out Berkeley because it's like magic. When you have someone in the room who can just like, you're like, hey, could you play like, and they're just like,
Yeah.
play it on
Yeah.
guitar like
They're just wizards.
instantly, but then also like flavor it up too, and you're like,
Mm.
wow, I wish I just could do any of that at all. You know, make music just for no reason.
I can do it on MIDI.
You can. You do know music. You're selling yourself short.
I know.
I mean, you
I know sounds.
basically do play an instrument, like
Yeah,
Owen
for
was
sure.
saying. Like,
Kinda.
but I don't know, producing. Like, I feel like if you're a producer, you can say you play an instrument. Like,
In a sense. Yeah.
you know, it's a
Yeah.
You play people's minds. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You make it. It sounds good.
I'm
To
like an
everybody.
X-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. A musical X-Men.
There's got to be one, right? Oh
I
man,
guess.
there's so many superpowers out there in that universe. There's got to be someone that's good at music.
A musical Avenger.
So, do you have plans for another album at some point?
For sure. I want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Probably not always Boston, but
Yeah.
definitely more collab projects.
So, is there one in the works right now?
Not an album. I'm doing more paired EPs, I guess, or
Okay.
collab EPs
Yeah.
with just like a single artist and just kind of you know how like Metro and Gucci or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so more things like that right now.
Okay.
But yeah, probably the next year or so I might start making another one. I want to get more notable names, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
expand outside of New England.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, just, level up always.
Level up
Yeah,
always.
love that.
Exactly.
We didn't even get into this, but you must be networking super hard in Atlanta because I feel like that community is just so willing to help work with
Yeah.
each other. That's like, I mean, from what
Yeah.
I can gather.
Yeah, like I'm not even like super into like the scene yet, but just being out there, like opportunities just kind of fall in your lap.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard. Not
They're doing
to,
something right out there,
Yeah,
hip hop wise.
It's
for
just
a
like-
long time.
it's just like packed in with like music scene or just entertainment, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But
Just so many great artists packed into one city. It's insane.
Packed,
Yeah.
but not saturated, not oversaturated. I think the environment of the people probably has, like, the way people receive the artists is more. I guess I don't know. I'm comparing it to up here. I'm just curious, like, what it's like, because I feel like sometimes people say there's a lot of people around here compared to what we have for venues and places like where you go and see it. But is there more of that? Like, are there more shows going on in it?
I feel like there's
Yeah.
probably more venues, right?
Yeah.
A lot more venues, a lot more shows.
And I didn't mean to cut you off if you had
Can I-
something else to add there.
no.
Sorry.
Just a lot more people doing things out there. So it's just again a lot more opportunities out there that if you are working, you're gonna find them or they're gonna fall in your lap again. Like I feel like here it's hard for opportunities to just fall out the blue like that.
I mean, there's not as many opportunities here, I'm sure. Cause
That too, yeah. It's like there's not a lot.
You just look at like the artists who are making it big here right now, like Cousin Stiz and Bia and Millie's, and it's like there's a million of those in Atlanta.
Right.
You know,
Right.
bigger even.
Yeah.
So
So
it's hard to
Yeah.
even compare it.
yeah, I feel like here is real like starter pack. You know, like just find your brand, find your niche, I guess, or find your sound, and then you go to the next level, which would be like a Atlanta or something.
Hmm I feel like Atlanta's like the gold standard that everyone's looking at, kind of in terms
Yeah.
of just like building a hip hop scene.
Yeah,
Like
in
everyone's
Atlanta.
looking at what they've done the last 2 decades and being like,
Right.
all right, how can we duplicate that?
Right. Yeah. If you're pretty, if you're good in Atlanta, you should be good pretty much anywhere.
Yep.
And then LA is obviously like the big dog. New York, places like that. But
Yeah.
Atlanta's dope. It's just a lot of just more opportunity. Like coming from a mass to an Atlanta, it's just like
You see the differences.
you can. It's like night and day. It's kind of crazy.
It's a good place to be, definitely.
Traffic is the same though.
Traffic
Really?
is the same?
Yeah,
really?
traffic sucks. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
I thought we had the worst traffic.
I didn't think it could get worse. Than
Yeah,
around
I
here.
thought we had the worst traffic. And
Sunday
LA, I've
afternoon.
heard, is a little bit worse, but I thought those were the 2 worst, us and LA. I didn't know Atlanta
Yeah.
was up there.
Atlanta's definitely up there. I heard it's up there with like Texas, Houston, something like that. Something like that.
Okay.
New York
Someone,
sucks.
if someone else can just like figure out the traffic, can we figure that out? I don't know why we
There's
still
always going
deal
to be
with.
traffic.
I know.
Ah,
It's only going to get worse, honestly.
Yeah.
ooh.
Oh, well.
Shower thought. If there were flying cars, I feel like we'd just crash into each other in the air. It wouldn't be like
Oh, yeah.
better, you know?
And then people on the ground would get escaped by cars, and it'll just suck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Sounds
flying
cool.
cars would be a disaster when you really
Yeah.
think
It'd
about
be
it.
horrible.
The way people drive in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
would
you'd
be
just be doing like spirals on the way to work.
oh, God.
You barely fly planes.
Yeah, well, before any of that happens, Boston will become a community like Atlanta has fostered. We're gonna do it. I feel like it's happening. Everyone's like working with each other,
Slowly.
and building.
Slowly, but it's happening.
It could be faster. Could be faster,
I don't know.
and it's everyone else's fault.
I don't know.
What's the biggest thing that Boston is lacking that Atlanta has?
We need love. We need to work. We need community.
Community.
We kind of all in our own little little scenes.
hmm
Like everyone asks,
There are like a lot of little scenes within the scene. Like
like every time I'm on like an interview, they're like, oh, like, so what's the Boston sound, or like how's the Boston music scene? And I'm like, there's like 20.
yeah,
And I
the
feel
fact
like-
that they have to ask that in the first place tells you that there's
Yeah.
not much of like a cohesive scene, anyways. Because they
Exactly.
wouldn't have to ask that otherwise.
I feel like people out here want to be like New York, but like New York has like how New York has like different boroughs like Queens and like
Yeah.
Harlem and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like it's like
we're never
that.
gonna be New York because New York's so much bigger. It's like
I mean, yeah, and it's New York, but I just like personally, I just feel like it's everyone just trying to rep their like immediate spot, like just rep mass, and then because I mean, you're not like where you're from is not going to change.
yeah,
Like if you're from such and such street from Roxbury, like that's not going to change. So, rep mass until you have like a sound. I mean, a little wave going. Because if you think of like in New York, like, and how there's so many different like scenes, but it's all still like New York.
Yeah.
But like there's like legends from every different
Every borough.
spot.
Yeah.
Because they just started out from New York, and then they are repping their spot, but they were also making noise.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people are too focused on like their one spot. And once they get like known on their street, that like they get
They
way too
think they
comfortable.
made it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you gotta at least get good in mass first,
Mm.
and then you can start repping your area.
I do feel like there's like people are quick to celebrate things like, and I think part of it is we're desperate for success, like in Boston, like with
Yeah.
the music scene, like we're just looking for something to hold on to.
For
And
sure.
there are huge things happening right now, but people are quick to praise somebody or get too excited about something before it's really even reached like a national scale.
Yeah,
It's like
people get way
we'll
too
treat-
comfortable
we'll- way too comfortable. Like,
too soon.
okay, so I can sell out shows in my city or in my hometown, so
Mm.
like that, so I've made it. It's like, okay, but can
Right.
you tour across the country? Like, it's
Right.
Yeah, I think some people even lie about that.
Yeah.
That they're sellouts.
For sure.
yeah,
They just
For
bought
sure.
all the rest of their own tickets. But I think it is hard, like, to fill a room in a place, even just a city over, if people
It is
don't know
tough.
who you are.
yeah.
Like,
It's real tough, and it's just like people want to do that at like the smallest scale,
Mm.
and then just call it like they think it's the same level of like selling out like the Garden, and it's like it's not the same. Like
Yeah,
you gotta know where you're at. Like be
you shouldn't
realistic
be
with
like
yourself.
even close to satisfied at that point.
Right. Like it's cool, but don't celebrate it too long, because now there's someone that's actually selling out like the Garden,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just you sold out like the
crack.
local bar, the crack.
Yeah. You pack the crack. Yeah.
Pack the crack.
That is no, that totally makes sense, and it's right on brand with Level Up Always, where
Yes,
like reach your next stage is like always hit that goal, like look towards your goal and hit it. But
yeah,
don't feel like you're on a mountain just because you climb this hill. Like every
Yeah.
time something happens, there's something
I think
else.
it's super important. Like the way you react to success is like super important. Like if you reach a certain level of success, like the way you respond to that, are you just gonna like celebrate that, or are you just gonna put your head down and keep moving and try to get to the
Right.
next thing?
That's
Like,
why I've always been confused when people get like kind of confused at me for not celebrating
Yeah,
like placement or something,
yeah.
and I'm just like, I mean, it's cool, but like
This
I
isn't what
haven't
I
worked
set out
with like
for.
I haven't worked with Drake. I haven't made $1 billion. I haven't got
Right.
a plaque yet. Like this,
You haven't done the shit that you.
there's
you
so much
really
more
dream
that
about.
can be
Yeah.
done, and it's just like, again, there's no stopping like winning, I guess.
Mhm.
100%. Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, I can get a platinum song, but I can also get 2.
Right,
If I get 2, I can get 3.
right,
Yeah.
Like why stop?
right. And if you get yourself one, that you just prove to yourself that you can do it again. So go do it
Right.
again. Right.
Right.
It's like you're showing yourself that you're capable of doing stuff. So that should
Mhm.
motivate you even more.
Right.
But don't get complacent, is what you're saying. I think.
Yeah, don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable.
Yeah.
You should always strive for more. You should feel like there's a
Level
next
up
step.
always.
Yeah.
Level up always.
No, that's big.
Simply.
Yeah. Similarly stated, never settle.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Never
Always
settle.
forward.
yeah, always forward. That's Lil Mel.
That's Lil Mel,
another
yeah.
podcast guest. Yeah. Do you know Lil Mel? Actually, I feel like he's been circulating the scene.
I think I'm
He's
friends
from
with him
Springfield.
on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty.
Like Trainer or something.
Jeff-
Jeffrey
Yes, yeah,
Jeffrey
yeah.
Trainer is his
Trainer.
name.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
he's out in
just
LA.
there's a lot of good people, a lot of talent around the scene.
Mm.
Just like you said, everyone's got to stay hungry. I think that's the key.
For sure. And I feel like not a lot of people are
Yeah.
really like hungry for even just to make it out of the mass.
Mm.
I feel like everybody's just like, let me be good in my city and I'm straight, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like at least at the minimum it should be Massachusetts if you're from there. Or just like your home state
Yeah.
or any type of like fan base. I don't know, it's just everybody's just too, I guess on the other hand, some people are too focused on their home state. Whereas
In
like,
their
you can have,
hometown
yeah,
even.
you can have like a fan base in Brazil
Mm.
and be popping, but you're too
Yeah.
focused on worrying about.
We've
your-
talked
your
about this
ho- your
before.
hood,
You could get no love from your hometown and go somewhere else and blow up there.
and then get love from your
And
hometown.
then your hometown will be like, oh, this guy's doing something and he's from here, and then
Yeah.
they'll catch on. So
it's like things like that.
you don't
where I was
have to
like,
blow up in your hometown first
Right.
necessarily. You should be looking bigger than that from the get go. You should never just look
Right.
at just your hometown.
Right.
No, I get that.
So yeah.
All right.
So I usually try to wrap on the merch stuff, but we'll keep an eye out for it. It's shop at levelupalways.com or LUA.
Shop.levelupalways.com
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
or just levelupalways.com.
Yeah,
Or
you'll find
just-
it there.
Go on the Instagram, you'll see it. Level Up Always. Just
Yeah, you know how to do the internet.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can
sure.
figure it out.
And any other plugs you wanted to hit?
Level Up Always.
Level Up Always. Love that. And Humbeats everywhere on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Literally everywhere, which is crazy.
No underscores or anything, just Humbeats?
That's
Just
awesome.
Humbeats. It's crazy, right?
Wow.
That's
yeah,
rare
we
that
lucked
someone
out.
gets to use their
Yeah.
actual name with no numbers or
Right?
anything. That's great.
I love it
Fancy, yeah.
because I'm big on branding, so I'm just like
Yeah, that's big.
everywhere, even on Snapchat.
Even on Snap.
Snapchat, man, I haven't
Keep
used
'em-
Snapchat.
And
in
no
a while.
no one's Snapchat name is their name or their
No.
social media.
Nobody's
name.
Instagram name is their name usually.
That too.
That never happens.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
Champagne Poppy or something.
Yeah. I-
ISO Poppy for the camera work.
You what?
ISO Poppy for the camera work.
ISO Poppy? Okay.
Just saying.
I missed it. I still. But it.
Wait, that's your Instagram for
Like photography.
photography? So you do photography? Okay.
I dabble.
Oh.
Didn't know that.
Well, you brought the whole camera setup, so yeah, that doesn't.
I should have known
surprise
that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were walking around with the camera earlier.
me. We got
getting
the
shot.
DSLR.
I dabble. Want to check it out?
So humble about it.
You're leveling up. Yeah, leveling
mean,
up always. Yeah.
It's like,
It's
yeah, I
nothing
take
crazy yet.
pictures,
It's
whatever.
nothing. I'm not no crazy photographer or anything, but
You probably said that about your beats one day, though. At one point.
I mean, I'm not.
You're just a humble guy. You're just a humble guy. But
Yeah,
thank you for coming on, man. Humbeats.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
No doubt. And I was at the Celtics game too, and
You were?
I was, and that game was crazy.
Damn, we didn't even talk about that. But
Good because I'm a
That's-
LeBron fan, but
oh, okay.
at-
So all right, I'm glad we didn't talk about that. Are you not a Celtics fan?
I'm a Celtics appreciator.
But you're more of a LeBron fan.
I'm a LeBron stan, and
Oh.
I'll admit that I don't care.
So you follow LeBron to whatever team he's on, and you root for them.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron.
Well, all
fan.
of New England knows what that feels like now after Tom Brady went to the Bucks. So
I guess so.
it's-
and after LeBron killed y'all. For
Yeah, but LeBron just hops around everywhere. He's just. I used to be a LeBron hater. I respect him now, but I will never call myself a LeBron fan.
What'd you hate?
About LeBron, when he was on the Heat, I'm just a Celtics fan. Like I.
Oh, and he was killing y'all. I understand. It happens. I get it.
you know what?
I think that
You know
that
what? We're
2012
cutting this
Eastern
out.
Conference Finals was rigged. There were so many bad calls in that series, and that's-
Likely story.
yeah,
Rigged.
that's what I stand by.
Mm.
So
40 points wasn't rigged.
that it never should have gotten that far. That I don't want to talk about this right now.
I'm
but
sure you
yeah,
don't.
I
I
just
hate
wanna
LeBron
say
James.
we're still
A lot
we're
of
still
people
hot
don't.
right now. Yeah.
It's okay. LeBron.
that
fuck with you.
era when he was on the Heat, that was like the most hateable team of all time.
Why?
Man,
Nah.
We got to do it. All right, this is the new podcast,
Let's
episode
go.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
all right.
let's-
The first two games of that series, the conference finals in 2012, Heat Celtics, were the worst officiated games I've ever seen.
Blame the refs.
The calls were atrocious.
Yuck.
So we went down 2-0
Mm.
and had to fight our way back. Won 3 in a row, went up 3-2.
Mm.
But it never should have gotten to that point because those
Never.
first two games were fixed.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. And then what happens?
Game
Yeah,
6.
you
Oh
know,
my
you
God.
know.
Fire, fire
Hey,
right here,
you know.
ice right here.
Hey, hey,
Oh my God.
hey, man.
Game 6 never should have happened. But yeah, LeBron went crazy in Game 6. He did. I
on
remember
my
watching
board.
that game and just
It's on the board. It's a rule.
I
That's the
remember
mindset when he was just stone face LeBron.
yeah, that was the turning point of his career after that. He hadn't won a ring at that point. The NBA was like, we need to get this guy a ring so bad. Let's rig this series.
Sure, sure, we can go with that.
No, I'm just bitter. I'm still bitter about it.
I know it's okay. I still have friends talking about, oh, Jason Tatum dunked on LeBron. Like, it's okay.
We lost that game, so I don't even
I
talk
know y'all
about that
did.
really.
I know.
Like, yeah,
It's okay.
I don't like talking about that. But
Everyone can have their highlight. That's cool. It was cute. You know what I'm saying? It was like his rookie year, right? You know what I'm saying?
But why are you a LeBron fan? You're,
Little
from,
Jason
you're
Tatum?
from Massachusetts.
It's
You
not
just
my
love
decision.
Why
I was
not?
planted here. Like,
Oh, I see.
Okay. When did you become a LeBron
I've been to
fan?
Ohio.
Like when he was like early LeBron,
Yeah, like high school LeBron.
high school LeBron. That's when
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Yeah, like yeah.
All right.
Wow.
High
I
school
mean,
LeBron.
I didn't start
Patch on
hating
my arm,
him.
LeBron. You know
I
what
didn't
I'm
start
saying?
hating him until Miami, and I don't even hate him now. I just hate the Miami LeBron. I didn't like that LeBron. Something about him. Probably that he beat us, but
Acknowledgement is the first step to recovery.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
yeah.
How do you feel about LeBron?
I mean, he's a tremendous athlete. I'm not.
I think he's a good guy. I like him as a person. He flops too much though.
I'll give you that.
I will say this, just to say my opinion is not valid enough. Like, I'm not invested really in the NBA or any professional sports enough to have deep-seated opinions about players like this.
Still, what's your?
I think he's an asshole, and I just feel like it would be a big deal. I feel. I just want to see him
This is
get
over.
dunked upon. Yeah.
Wait, for real though? You think he's an asshole?
No, I don't
no.
have an opinion on him
Oh.
really. Yeah, he seems like he
okay.
works super hard. So I can't knock.
He's a
the
nice
hard work.
guy. Like he's a good family man. He's a good guy.
Okay, your little PR answer
Yeah,
question.
He's done,
Okay.
he's done some nice.
He's a
things.
nice guy,
He's
you know.
like-
He has a good beard, you know.
This is what we do. We say both extremes as if it's like it could be either.
but
But he's mostly a piece of shit.
he just makes me angry watching him play. His flopping and his complaining to the refs, and Jason Tatum complains to the refs too much too, though. I'll admit
about
that.
Who
Like Marcus
flops
Smart.
worse?
Marcus
soccer?
Smart flops a lot too.
Okay.
He won Defensive Player of the Year today, though.
Oh,
Did LeBron ever win Defensive Player of the Year?
He won a ring.
I know. I'm just.
Uh-oh.
Did Marcus Smart ever win a ring?
No, I got I respect LeBron. I'm a Celtics fan, so I can never love him. That's just the way things work.
I love LeBron.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got that on record.
Sounds like this has to be a wrap.
yeah.
Like, I wasn't trying to piss off the Latino people, but I love LeBron.
Okay.
And I can piss off anybody with that statement. But
Yeah.
they know that.
The fire.
Like, I came back to Mass one time with all LeBron jerseys.
Oh no. That's.
Dude,
I'm glad you didn't wear one tonight.
That would have been
If I
disrespectful.
knew,
That would have been bad for the brand.
if I
Next
knew,
episode.
next episode,
Yeah.
I'm pulling up all LeBron gear.
Oh man,
LeBron mask.
it's gonna be danger. Oh, well, that would be so funny. Yeah.
Who are you rooting for in the Celtics Brooklyn series?
I mean, it's kind of equal in that series. Like, I like KD. I'm not a huge Kyrie fan, so I don't really care about Kyrie.
Yeah.
I think Tatum is cool. I don't really care about Jaylen Brown, but
All right.
damn, he might see this, right?
Maybe.
I love the Celtics,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, this team is pretty fun to watch right now.
it's a good team. I guess it's a great team.
They play hard. They play defense.
Yeah, it's
so
a real,
it's fun to
good
watch.
like team. Like, I know, like, basketball's a real team sport.
Yeah,
so
and
they're a
they
good
got the team thing down right now.
Yeah,
They figured it out finally. They
right.
turned it around halfway through the season, but
So I'll definitely give him that. But yeah, like Tatum is. I think he needs to be more a killer. He needs that.
I think he's
that
getting there
killer.
though. Like he's taking
Yeah,
some
he gotta
steps in
hurry
that
up.
direction.
He gotta hurry up.
He's only 24 still. He's young.
I mean,
That's no
gotta
baby.
hurry up. Huh?
That's no baby.
24 is
not.
young.
It's young, but
He's still
I
like
mean,
4. Your athletic prime is like 28, they say. So,
Is it?
yeah.
Oh, we in our athletic prime right now?
Yeah. Couldn't you tell?
but yeah, he needs that killer. Like, 'cause, I mean, there's a lot of players like younger than him that have that killer.
Yeah.
So I think
I think that's something like
get
he
that.
wasn't born with. It's something he's got to, some people are born with that. I think
Mhm.
it's something he's had to learn over time. Like, I think he's starting to get it this year. You could see
We'll
it
see.
a little bit. He's been, the last couple months, since January, late January, he's been like arguably the best player in the NBA.
that doesn't mean he has a killer though.
No, not
Like
necessarily.
being good doesn't just mean you're like a killer.
But he's starting to get that, I think. He hit the game winner yesterday.
I mean, it's a layup.
It was a layup, but he caught it and spun at the same time. It was a pretty crazy layup.
I mean, he's supposed to do that though.
Yeah, you're right. He did what he's supposed to do. He's doing his job. So
Yeah, that's not a
Can't
killer.
complain.
That's just a guy that's doing his job.
he's been a killer, and when he scores 60+ points, that's a killer right there. He's done that a few times.
Is it a killer or is it just bad defense?
This is
All right, this is never gonna end.
This is pod stirring
I'm just being a
101.
dick.
Yeah.
No, I know. I think Jason Tatum, I agree. He's not a Kobe Bryant. Like, he doesn't have that killer instinct in him naturally, but I think it's something that, like, he's learning over time. And I think, like, people criticizing him about it, like you saying he's not a killer, I think stuff like that is turning him into a killer, I feel like.
I hope so.
I feel like
That'd be cool.
that's getting to him, and he's like, all right, I
If
got to
I can make the Jason Tatum killer,
Yeah.
I'm taking that credit.
So yeah, keep talking shit about him, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, you're not a killer, Jason, with a Y.
Oh my God, that's funny. This is like Rocky 2, where he's like, all your fights. No, Rocky 3. It's like all your fights are handpicked. This guy's a real killer. You can't fight him. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
So is Jason Rocky?
Yeah, I guess in that case,
I can see that.
he will be the killer, but right now he's never faced a real killer. Does that
Yes, he
make
has.
sense? Is this a
He's
a
faced
night-
LeBron and lost.
Yeah, and dunked on him and lost, but he dunked on him.
Dunked on him. That's cool.
But let's not forget, Rocky loses in the first movie. Spoiler alert.
So what
He
happened to the
comes
Lakers
back.
this year, though? We got to talk about that if you're a LeBron fan.
Yeah. Russell Westbrook happened.
Yeah, he was bad.
He was ass.
He was pretty bad.
He was horrible.
Man,
LeBron
I've
had a
never
great
seen somebody.
AD got hurt.
Bron did have a good season, actually.
LeBron was the second leading scorer and was trying to help the team get to the. I mean, they were one game out from the playoffs. The play.
Yeah, but I
But-
mean, people, when they made all
Shouldn't
those
have
deals in the offseason, people were saying they were going to win
Oh, yeah.
the ship. So
I mean, on paper it looked great.
it did, but Carmelo's old. Westbrook,
Yeah, but still, like
Westbrook's good, but
AD and Brown was supposed to be the main, and Westbrook was just supposed to elevate that
yeah, and he
He
didn't.
did
He
not
brought it
at all.
down.
a lot. Turn
Yeah.
around.
I was watching like a compilation of like all his biggest misses this year. Like he was
It's
missing
bad.
by so much.
Yeah, like he
You know
wasn't.
what
He
I
wasn't
mean?
just like bad.
He
was
wasn't
bad.
just he was missing the whole backboard,
Yeah,
everything.
like he wasn't close.
It was terrible.
Like you're in the NBA.
It was bad.
I can miss that bad. Like pay
Yeah.
me that money. I can miss. that
Yeah,
bad.
no, it got really bad. You wonder what happened to him, because like, how does a guy go from being, an MVP candidate to just not being able to make shots? It's
Because his
strange.
best seasons were solo.
Yeah,
Every time he
doesn't
had a
know how to
star,
play
he
with
was
other
ass.
stars. Yeah, I mean, he was good with KD.
He was ass.
He wasn't. He wasn't ass
wasn't
like he
ass.
was this year.
No,
though.
he wasn't ass. But he can't really play with like another superstar. I don't think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And,
Interesting.
then we got KD who just went to the Warriors, but
Yeah,
that's another story. Anyway,
The psychology of stars. Can't play with each other.
no, it's funny how that works sometimes. You see, I mean, it was the same with the Lakers team with Steve Nash and Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol and all them, like 10 years ago. People
Yeah.
felt the same way about that team. Like they were gonna just run the table, and it was like, no, these guys can't play together.
yeah.
So
Steve Nash was like old as shit too. wasn't
yeah,
he?
he was old, and Dwight Howard was always a little overrated. I don't know.
Yeah, he had his little prime, but
He did.
Well, I don't know. High
Oh
flyer.
well. I just hope the Lakers keep sucking for many years. That's all I can say.
I mean, doesn't mean LeBron's going to be there.
No, you're right. He'll probably jump ship and go somewhere else.
Could. I'll be right there too.
He'll go whichever team drafts Bronny. That's where he's going.
Probably, yeah. Honestly,
So
which would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Father and
that is
son.
cool. That is cool.
That would be cool.
That's the first time in history, right? Father son.
In the NBA, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
In baseball, it happened with Griffey. Ken Griffey and his dad played together.
Shout out Ken Griffey Jr. Man.
Yeah. Shout out Ken
Cool.
Griffey Jr. He would have been.
Real legend.
He is a legend. I wish he didn't get hurt. Injuries messed up his career, but he would have been like.
See, that's why I can't be a legend, because I can't be compared to like Ken Griffey Jr. That's
Why
crazy.
not?
It's Ken Griffey Jr.
He can be the
crazy.
Ken
Can't be
Griffey
your
Jr. of
Humbeats.
music.
But your Humbeats.
Like I am, but like
Is-
I won't say I'm a legend now. I'm
Okay.
like an all-star.
Okay, no, we'll
That's
accept
fair.
that.
Yeah, we'll take All Star.
All right.
Yeah.
So close. Almost got him to say
Yeah.
legend. Damn it.
He's got to make a
Wait.
few more All-Star
Getting
teams
there.
before,
Yeah,
a few more All-Star teams, a couple rings. Yeah.
Yeah, couple rings, maybe like a defensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm. All
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Got to
Yeah,
build
just
up the
for the-
resume a little
Yeah,
bit.
Yeah. No.
But you're well on your way.
I'm on the way.
Yep.
I will be first ballot Hall of Fame soon.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Legend.
I'll give
So-
you that. Yeah,
Legend.
I'll
Only a
give you that.
legend would say.
Legend in the making.
there you go.
But thank you for coming on, man. We,
Yeah,
we, won't,
we
we won't keep
stretched-
you any longer. We stretched it with all that
That
basketball
was a
talk
bonus.
at
That
the
was a
end.
Patreon
I just had to know.
exclusive. Yeah.
You
about
got
the
me
LeBron.
worked up about the LeBron thing, so
I know.
I had to get some.
I like
off my
doing that to
chest.
people.
Yeah. I
'Cause
can tell
they
you're
really hate
enjoying
LeBron.
it.
It's
Yeah.
But thank you, man.
Thank you.
Humbeats. Appreciate it. Boston's Big Podcast. We out.